So let's clean up with AI and let's use ComfyUI. So I just released something called TP OmnimatteZero, which is based on a model called OmnimatteZero Fast Training Omnimate with pre-training video diffuse model. So basically they are using a pre-trained model to fast training free, which means that we're not gonna need to create some LoRa's to do some training. It's working on inference time pace, so it's just should be just running it and got the video object removal or cleanup for us, right? So I made a ComfyUI version, so it's easy for us, you can see, and then you can just take the workflow here. If you wanted to do if you take the workflow, you should have something like this, which is exactly what I have here. So this is what came with the model, which is a example footage with some masking, and then you got the cleanup plates in there. So I noticed something. If you use a mask without expanding, you might get some artifacts in there. You see it? It's because the model sometimes sees between the masking, the edges, and try to make sense of what was happening there. So basically this is inpainting the mask region based on the rest of the footage, right? So one way to fix that is just expand it. So like some pixel spread or something. So it's much expanded now. And then you're just processing. And then we should be seeing now it's like cleaning up all these artifacts for us. So let's see it. So it's running here, it's processing the 30 steps. So steps, how many denoise. And then also this is running the native weight, the native model inside Comfy. So it means that it's not quantized, so it's using lots of VRAM. And because of that, like we need like a heavy graphics card, of course. This one is using right now 95 gigs. This is because this is a longer shot, 240 frame shots you see here. And also, first time you run this Comfy workflow, it will download automatic, so you don't need to go to the jazz of downloading, putting there. You only have to choose if you want to download inside of ComfyUI or if you want to download in the cache of the Hugging Face folder. I usually just keep in Comfy because then you know it is inside of that folder and it's not elsewhere on the system. And then you can play around with these options, but usually when you use these options, you get some tiny lower quality. So like this is now making sure that you're running the highest quality as possible to get, you know, the in-paint area with all the details that you wanted to. And we got it. Now we got it with the new expanded mask, which means that it completely solved the artifacts that the model was trying to figure out. One thing that I noticed though that I really like is, for example, so this is the plate. And you can see that when you got some movement, the water there got some, you know, stuff in there, like it's moving and it is creating some of the waves. So now when we see the cleanup, we see that the model now figure out like, I'm gonna add something to the water. So it makes sense to get these waves, these distortions properly. So it has the null by itself, you see it? That's because our masking area, let's see the masking area, it's bigger like that. So it means like it needed to figure out like how we're gonna complete to create like a seamless transition. So this is important because when we cut this cleanup, the model tries to make sense on the surrounding area and tries to create that. So this is really important. Because sometimes if you have like objects coming in and out, it might just get lost because the model tries to figure out what to do inside it. So you can see it's because it has this wave movements in over here. See it now? The model needs to add something to make sense. It's not gonna go out of nowhere like a masking, right? And that's exactly what happens here. So it added something, it moves that something, to make sense that now those waves and these different colors happening in this area make sense. It's not like coming out of nowhere on the isolate mask, right? I found this very, very nice and interesting. in my opinion. Now, let's put this to a different level. So I was thinking something more like a production shot, right? So I went to this latest Chevy commercial, and then there is some interesting things here. And I was like, why not making this shot more like a cinematic shot and not like a documentary style by removing these objects, right? So like we have the camera crew, we have stuff holding the car. So why not just cleaning that up and make, I understand why they made this decision to showing that, but to make like a documentary, but like I want it to be cinematic. So how you gonna do that is just, classic traditional work. So let's get our shot here. So I got the whole spot, and then this is the shot. And then now we got like our shot. You can see some movement, some parallax, some camera moving. So, classic planar tracking, 2D tracking, we're gonna get tons of perspective shifts. We're gonna need to do, and we all have done that before, and it's all good and nice. But then, there is this, you can see like the whole parallax, the whole movement, the whole thing here. It's okay shot to do it, but it's tons of work that now we don't need it to do it anymore. So how to do that? And also we have a crew there, so a new mask for that, and then lots of parallax shift, lighting, all of that jazz. We all have been done that before, but why not now with these models do this is automatic? So I'm not gonna go to the jazz, camera projections, 3D setup. I just wanted to do with this AI model. So let's kill this. Let's go back to our shot here, and I'm gonna get the shot. So here's our shot. Okay, moving, all of that jazz. Now masking, here's the trick. So this is our plate, and then I have done mask 1, mask 2, and now we know, like, by driving this mask, the model is going to look to the surrounding areas and trying to make sense. I was very lazy just to push the model, so I just do a masking and I just move it around. Nothing too crazy. And I expanded it and blurred it a little bit. So I take a little bit of the, just make more extra work to the model to see what happens to that contact ground. And then, of course, that's it. So with this, let's go back there. And let's add the masking. So here we go. So we got our 2 masks, and we got the plate. There is a prompt here I added. The model does not really using it, but I kept just because they also kept. So I kept it in here if you wanted to play around. But usually you don't need to add it. That is like the negative prompt. Keep it as it is as well. That's what I'm doing most of the times. I'm gonna use the best settings and then just running it. It kept around 90 gigs, which is nice. And there we go. We got it. So let's have a look. Man, I like this model. You see? It cleaned up the whole thing. It gave the parallax shift, the camera rotation, and on the second mask, let's go there. It got the flare, would be a lot of animation there. And clean up the whole thing for us. You see the parallax shift in the rod, it's all there. And then one thing that I noticed though, the feather of the masking, of course, the feather of the masking does affect the quality a lot, and also the softness of the masking. So it's something that you have to play to find that's a shot by shot case, in my opinion. Another thing that you can also play around very quickly, it's actually on the seed. Each of the seeds is gonna create a completely different version of the cleanup. So let's say you want a different, a different texturing, a different lighting, a different parallax, you don't like it, whatever that is, you can just keep it generated with different seeds. Each of this one is a different, it's going to be a different way of cleaning up. For example, I got here a few different from different seeds level, and you can see, you see, this one was different, then this one was different. You see, like it created something in between. It created a more seamless one, because this one I have not included the other mask, just one masking. This one has both masking, and you can see like just by changing the seed, this one has made like a huge rock, while the one that we made it together, it only it decided to use the background instead of the foreground rock. So it just cleaned up the rest. So it's kind of nice, because if you want to play around with both, you can just do it. But you can see like this version here but it doesn't make like lock to the background, it made lock to the foreground. So it got that different Z space, you see here? So the only thing different was the seed here. So you can place whatever number you wanted to do it and just hit generate, and now it's going to generate a new version of it. So you can do lots of variations, see which one was happy in half an hour. So that's it, guys. So this is the cleanup, and this is a version, because I was like, why the heck they made us these tiny rocks for hiding the guys there, whatever that was. So I did it like another masking. So you can see here. And then just to see what would happen, this one's difficult. And then now we got it there too. Okay, that's it. That was the trick. Another thing. So how to get to this install? It's very easy, very simple, very straightforward. So back to to my GitHub here. Again, I decided to make this version running the native weights. So there is no quantization, there is no conversion. So you know that you're running the best quality that this model can get. It's just that because you're running on Comfy, but it's the same way that you would be running directly on the model itself by running native. I prefer this way, but this is just my way of working. It's very easy. You can install by the manager, or you can install by the steps. I prefer working this way manually, because it's just because I get used to it, but you can do by manager. By manager, all you have to do, go into the manager here, and then you type TP Omni, and then you just have to install, and that's it basically, and then you're ready to go. That is a workflow for you. Here you can just drag and drop, and should be ready to be used. That's it, guys. So this is I wanted to show you how to clean up. I mean, I prefer this way now. I have been using and then hope you guys like too. All right, see you next one. Bye.